We've got my cousin Henry here today, so he's down for the weekend.
Yeah.
When do you head back out?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow
Flying
morning.
out.
We're going to start off with something that Hushit Punt shared with me on Twitter. It was a question. I shared my internet manifesto, which was talking about trying to move from more of a consumption focus on the internet, like instead of just treating the internet like a television, treating it like not just a distribution platform, but a production platform. He said this: I definitely agree with the input-output concept, but how are you implementing it? It's so difficult to do, man. Social media has simply made us addicts. How are you taking your life back as per the manifesto? Maybe make a video on that. As far as like how this channel it has worked, it has always been a work in progress kind of thing. Before we went to India, me and a buddy, Adam Johns, we did a web series together. We called
HOV.
HOV. You can actually still see it. And it was just about 3 people in the back seat.
Own channel on
Yeah,
YouTube.
Join the Carpool is the name of the channel.
Join the Carpool. HOV.
I look back at it. I think both of us would be just embarrassed by it at this point.
Oh, it was...
Yeah. I was going to, at this point, insert some footage from, or scenes from HOV. I just went back and watched some of it. It is horrible. It is so bad. Gosh, it's so self-indulgent. Like, I'm ashamed of myself. I can't do it. You can look it up. You can find it if you want to. It'd be interesting for me and Adam just to react to that. Oh, gosh. It's cringe, dude. It's so bad. So, again, this goes back to Harshit's point. How do you begin? Well, when you begin, it's not going to be good. You're going to look back at it later. Go look at M. Night Shyamalan's first few films. Go watch. When you start out, you're not going to be good. Just keep plugging away. It's worth it in the long run. I really do believe that. You know, we started this podcast we called Work in Progress Podcast, and that's been kind of my mode of operation ever since. It's been everything's been a work in progress. I start these new vlog ideas and they last like, you know, at most 6 weeks. But in the process of doing all that, it has led to other opportunities. So the American Indian show that we were doing while we were in India, that started off as just one blurb I wrote in one episode that I was trying to channel Anthony Bourdain. No Reservations. Fantastic travel show. And one of my favorite travel shows ever.
Yeah.
His like little minute blurb before the no reservations thing would come in. I was just, there were times, there was this one he did, I can't remember where it was, but it surprised me. I was working at Playground Music at the time. And I was like, man, I want to write like that. So years later, when we were in India, I wrote this one little blurb, and it was embedded in that one episode, Rainy Days and Star Wars Eggs or something like that. It was one of these vlogs.
Monsoon season has been in full swing in North India, which means drenched rickshaw rides, fresh potholes on newly rutted roads, and in some unfortunate areas, serious and potentially devastating flooding.
I was proud of it. I was like, man, I feel like this little Anthony Bourdain blurb. And that was the seed of what would become American Indian. And American Indian came because someone said, why don't you show a film at our coffee house? And I was like, I don't have a film. They're like, well, just cut some of your videos together. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Pixar. Okay, here's another example. Pixar started off with a dude who made a 3D animated hand. He made a 3D animated hand that moved like this. That's it. He just did it as a project. And then this rich dude saw it and was like, well, that is amazing. I'm going to fund that dude. So he formed this company, and then Lucas went and picked it up, then Jobs went and picked it up, and now we have Coco. But that's 30 years of development and a ton of money. Billions of dollars of money.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars of money. 30 years of time. I think when we start things on the internet, we're just like, oh, this is terrible. Yeah, it's terrible because there's no money. You started last week. Your blog sucks. Your Twitter feed sucks. Your YouTube channel sucks. Like, so what? Like, it's incremental, you know? I mean, he got me to run 3/4 of a mile today.
Yeah.
Which is 1/4 of a mile more than I could do yesterday.
We're going to keep it consistent, so.
Yeah.
Keep it consistent.
That's the word.
Yep. Yep.
So we're leaving.
It's very important. This thing called consistency.
This is the problem that the idea guy does not get. I commit to something for 6 weeks. And I'm like, it's not working. Forget it. So he said that after our run, I was about to get into my car.
And it fits into the C.
It does.
C alliteration.
There it is. So our new catchphrase, thanks to Henry, it has evolved over the years. It started off as creative, quality, constructive.
And in the meantime, keep it quality, keep it creative, and keep it constructive, YouTube. See you later.
We went to India, and it was still creative, quality, and constructive, I think, until I'd started one of these vlogs, and I said, we're going to change it to creative, cross-cultural, constructive. And then we've basically added over time, Improbable One, a few other viewers have suggested stay strong,
Right, because once
keep
we started,
going.
the building a better me, then we started throwing all sorts of stuff on it.
So, but channel catchphrase sign off is now going to be keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, keep it constructive, and keep it consistent. Yeah, no, reverse redaction, thanks to Judah. We're doing a podcast, reverse redaction. If it wouldn't be for Judah, we wouldn't be doing it. Basically, it just started off as a way for Judah to channel my France into something a little more constructive. And every day we met to that podcast, I was in self-loathing and really just, I'm really thankful that he put up with me and made me do this every week for months because it gave me an outlet. There are times, I mean, listen to the one the other day. What was it? I love the Star Wars one, by the way. That was so cathartic going back and listening to that. But
I'll have to check that out.
the other one, was it Bitcoin? Dude, I could almost not listen to it. I was listening to it in the car with Dad, because I was like, hey, Dad, he listens to talk radio, so listen to my thoughts on Bitcoin. I got about 10 minutes into it. I was like, just thinking about what Melissa's like, oh, jeez.
It's okay. Henry got an earful of Bitcoin last night.
Yep, and I read the white paper. I did probably an hour and a half of reading last night on it, and I'm bought. I'm sold.
Gosh, but my presentation is horrible. Like, I sound so mad.
You're very convincing. I suggested that you should go to law school because you'd be the best lawyer in the United States.
It's so bad. I was like, that's what I sound like.
It wasn't bad at all, no.
Oh, jeez. I don't know how you put up with it, Judah.
Very passionate. But there you go. So that's good. Judah and Ford together. Judah brings in that consistency element. So it's important, I think, to hook up with people who can bring in a different part of you that you have a hard time with.
So Naval references Ford's episode on chai and gym membership in Delhi.
I'd love to watch
Interesting.
that.
I don't remember that
No,
one.
well, because that's where that picture comes from with Rohan and
Rohan's like,
and your
that look, that little face. That's that one right there. Look at that little face that he made.
It's a mini Ford right there.
Dude, that little kid. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
I'm just going to look at that shit. It looks like two dudes in the Bronx, like, having a conversation about, like, construction or something. Yeah. I don't... What Harshit was talking about, how do you take life back as per the manifesto when social media has simply made us all addicts? When I was working back at Playground Music, I was just a retail, and basically what I was just front desk cash register guy. I was teaching violin lessons there as well. And when I was working for them, I started just doing a weekly curation list thing. And that's how we met Anthony Peoples, was because I went and interviewed him. I did this thing called Weekend Music Links.
I don't remember any of that.
I was writing these blog posts every week, and I was sharing just random stuff. I mean, all over the place, like music products, music people. I had Will Terrian from high school.
Like waves upon the jetties, you crashed into me, slowly breaking down those rocks in my heart.
Basically, a curated blog of music. Impacted me because when I went to India, I don't know if y'all remember, but for a while there, I did something called Found on Facebook.
My friend Jared Putnam posted this CNN Australia story about planking, which is sad because a person died as a result of this new craze called planking. The story should be sad, but it comes across unintentionally funny due to comments like this.
It's something that is not going to stop. People are going to plank, and we're all for planking. Don't drink and plank. We just had a bit of a plank in the park and just harmlessly on the grass and in and around the place, and had a good laugh about it.
We just going out for a plank in the park, plank. Just a go plank. I always get like Cockney mixed with Australian, with Irish, with Scottish.
Just random links that I thought were fun. Then later on, we did something called Surfing Violinist Insiders, which turned into Friday Favorites? Friday Favorites or something like that? Yeah. So on and off, again, it would never last longer than 6 weeks, but I would do these curated things. And so what that did is it forced me to think in terms of, what do I really want to share? And it made me think in terms of, instead of being a critic, it made me more like a curator. Like, what are the things that I think are good enough to talk about? And so that took the focus off of mere consumption and mere, cynical criticism, because everything I watch is terrible. Oh, the music these days is awful. And it made me think, well, I was actually interacting with people, local musicians. I was like, wow, this guy's really good. There's a guy right here that I would listen to his stuff.
And so it made it more constructive in terms of the content we were curating. So I think curation is an important part of it. Sharing, not just like selfies with food, like taking it one step further. Like, oh man, this food was really good. Let me go talk to the person who made it and let me pick their brain about something. Like, take it a little step further. That's the first step, I think, is to move past this superficial social media, short-sighted, quick, one-off, headline-focused curation to something that's a little deeper. Just take it like one step further. Just ask the chef one question, or, you know, like, wow, how did this business start? This is great. You know, go to a taco truck or a food truck, or, you know, in India, your favorite chai walla, and be like, this chai is exceptional. What do you do to make it exceptional?
Ford's going to start doing this weekly exercise and being consistent and creative. He was sharing last week the paintings that he's finding. So he's just going to write 8 bars of music of whatever the painting kind of inspires in him. So for me, I just came on to do social media for 3 local beach businesses. So that's kind of my version. Like, I have to come up with pictures to stick on Facebook. I like just went, drew a heart in the sand, took a picture, and then the Tourist Development Council
stole it, plagiarized it without...
Didn't ask my permission,
Oh,
but
that's
they
hard.
took my photo and they used it for their Valentine's Day thing. So, see, there you go. I had to be my job was forcing me to be creative, and it brought something good that other people noticed and liked.
Yeah, if anybody's watching this that has any
So
sort
I
of connection to Panama City
I
Beach,
did.
like, check yourselves.
I did.
Seriously.
Started on-
Plagiarism.
So I'll brag on Melissa here a bit. At Schooners yesterday when we were visiting with Henry and his family, doing this all with the phone, mind you, and just took this on a whim when Rohan and his cousin Emma were running up from the water. And I was like, that's a great job, babe. So again, you know, start with what you have. You know, I mean, if you look back at that footage from the weekend music links I was doing when I was working at Playground Music, it's a horrible video, horrible audio. I was using on-camera audio, so bad. But you have to start off with something. I mean, you go back and watch Ryan Higa's early videos. You go back and watch PewDiePie's early videos. Bad sound quality, bad everything. This is the internet. Start there, baby. Start there. Embrace the technological deficiency and just run in there and get your content better. And it's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to be an act of consistency. Like for me, I always start too much too soon, and then I run out of energy. I really think that incremental process of being like, you know, I want to watch more stuff that relates to the stuff that I want to output. I want more input that aligns with my output. So that's what we're going to be trying to do. We're going to try to figure out how that looks in the course of the next month or two. Until next time, keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, keep it constructive, and keep it consistent, YouTube. Thank you very much.